Hey guys, Real Housewives of Potomac, episode 7. So the episode starts with Karen talking to her damn plants and them telling us that her court date is 7 days away. So we see TJ and Stacy at Stacy's crash pad. Because remember, her soon-to-be ex-husband and their daughter all still live together. But she said her husband is gone a lot for business. So whenever he comes home and she wants to be with her boo, she goes to her crash pad. Basically her bachelorette pad. And I'm not going to lie, I like Stacy, but when it comes to TJ, it just seems like she's forcing it bad. She told him she wanted to do this painting activity. And she was like, whoever wins gets something good. So what do you want if you win? And he's talking about, I want us to go to the track and work out. And she's like, that's what you want to win? And she was like, okay, well, if I win, I want to do a spa day for TJ. Which basically means she's saying, like, I'm going to give you a massage. I'm going to give you a facial and stuff. And he's like, okay. And she's like, hello, I'm flirting with you. Like, accept the flirtation. And he was like, I am. But it's like, girl, if it don't feel natural, then it's not it. Either y'all just not compatible for a relationship and maybe y'all just good friends, or he's not sexually attracted to you and he don't want to have sex with you, or he might go the other way. And with him being a devout Christian, that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, is that he might go the other way, but he's not going to be open and say it. So he still dates women, but is not intimate with them and doesn't seem to have any desire to be intimate with them or even really flirt. And the other possibility is that he don't want to really take it nowhere with you because he don't think you really going to get a divorce. Because Stacy do low-key seem like she do still love her husband and might want to be with him. So when they sat down after they painted, TJ was like, what's going on with the divorce? You told me that y'all had a mediation. So she explained the process to him and she was like, I appreciate how patient TJ has been with me. But then she told him that when she was on the girls trip, the girls were asking questions about him and they don't really believe that he's a man of God. They think that he's running game on Stacy. So TJ was like, I don't really care what they have to say about me until they meet me. And Stacy was like, okay, well, you're going to meet them on Friday because Jazzy's having that Super Bowl party for her boyfriend. TJ didn't seem bothered. And Stacy was like, I'm just telling you, they were really cackling. And he was like, well, they think they're making fun of me and you. They're making fun of God. I'm like, oh my God, he is corny. So we see Ashley and Giselle getting ready for something at Ashley's house. They're putting out food and stuff and saying that they need to talk to Karen. And then they show us that now it's 5 days until her court date. Not Bravo giving us the countdown. Ashley talking about she drinking this olive oil and lemon drink. And it's like a detox. You will have to use the bathroom and it'll help your skin clear up. She got her mom on it because her mom got a heart blockage. So she trying to take health more seriously. If y'all tried that, let me know. So then Karen comes and Ashley and Giselle basically were like, we haven't seen you since Lake Norman. How are you feeling? And she basically said that she was disappointed in Mia and Jacqueline for making up that lie and saying that she came to them saying she needed help and she needed to go to rehab. And Karen repeats what she said last week directly to Ashley and Giselle, the messy twins, that Mia had an opioid addiction herself, so she shouldn't be talking. And Karen was like, it's not really no tea. It's public information. She's talked about it on her YouTube. And they also showed us a clip where Mia did an interview and she said that she had an opioid OD at a very young age. And she decided to search for a more holistic form of medicine, which is what led to her opening up all of the joint chiropractic centers. Giselle is saying how Karen is deflecting and she's not going to latch onto other people. This is a stressed out Karen. And it's like, yes, she is stressed out because everybody's coming at her and she has this court case to deal with. But I don't necessarily think it's deflection. She don't want y'all in her business, clearly. But anybody who tries to come at her and clock her, she's going to clock you back. So they asked Karen about the court date and she was like, I'm not going to lie. I am stressed out. I'm not sleeping. I'm not eating. I'm waking up at 3 a.m. So she's being honest about the fact that she's stressed out. She's just not giving y'all all the details that y'all want to sip as tea when it's her real life. This is not just something for the show. This is real life. She has to go to court. So here goes Karen clocking shit again. Because Giselle and Ashley was all like, oh, we're here for you and we want the best for you. And Karen was like, yeah, Giselle, I'm here for you too. And I heard that Jamal is engaged. So how are you feeling about that? So Giselle basically played it off and was like, it wasn't a surprise to me. I knew it was coming. But then when she talked to the producer, she was like, yeah, I know, because he went to dinner with the girls and told them he would be getting engaged. But the girls were confused because they didn't even know he had a girlfriend. So if the girls didn't know he had a girlfriend and they thought it was just his friend, then did you really know he had a girlfriend and that he was about to get engaged? And Karen was like, okay, well, it's your time now. I want you to be happy and get married. And Giselle is talking about how she just want to have fun with somebody. And it's like, girl, okay, I get it. You just becoming an empty nester. I think Giselle's probably in her 40s. You probably still got a little kick left in you. You want to have a little fun. But for how long? Like, girl, at some point you should be looking to get married again. So we see Wendy's family at dinner. One of her sons has on like his graduation cap and gown. So obviously he just graduated. And Wendy was like, I'm so proud of you guys, talking to all 3 of her kids. Like, you guys wearing my belly. And then her mom was like, yeah, and you wearing my belly. And now you know how it feels. And Wendy was like, it's not about you. Wendy's mom always be doing too much. No shade. So Wendy is still celebrating her birthday child, and she says she's having an all-white party. Her mom talking about, oh, I might show up in a different color. Wendy said, do not show up in a different color. Like, this is what I mean. She be doing the most. And then she was like, oh, so is that why I didn't get my allowance this month? Because you're throwing a party? So now Wendy's mom is so entitled and keeps telling Wendy that she should appreciate her so much that she thinks she should be giving her an allowance every month. And if she doesn't get it, it's a problem. Could never be me. Then they showed Wendy sending it and it was $500. And she was all like 4 days late. Like, girl, you mad because you got your $500 4 days late? Like, you're a grown ass woman mad about getting your $500 4 days late from your child. Get your shit together, lady. But Wendy said it's cultural. She said in Nigerian culture, you know, your parents take care of you. And when they get older, you take care of your parents. And that includes financially. And she said that her mother doesn't care about any of her expenses or what she has going on. She always wants and expects her allowance. So Wendy was telling her mom how she tried to invite Eddie's side of the family to the party. Wendy's mom is talking about, I don't trust those people. They haven't been to any of y'all events. You know, they didn't even come to Wendy and Eddie's wedding. Wendy even said that when Eddie graduated law school, his parents didn't come. So it's like they basically disowned him because he married Wendy and they have this beef with Wendy's family. But Eddie was like, you know, at least my siblings agreed to come. It'll be the first time that any of us will all together in a while. Yeah, Wendy just said they haven't officially met her kids. So they're not active grandparents whatsoever. Eddie's parents are a big chop, but Wendy's mom is also slightly a chop because she does too much. And I could see how they ended up having beef with her. So Wendy told her kids, the only thing I want for you guys is for you guys to get your master's degrees. Besides that, do anything your heart's desire. And she said, I just want y'all to know it's written in stone in your trust funds that if y'all don't get y'all master's degrees, y'all can't get the money. Not Wendy took some lessons from Ghost on Power, because y'all know that's what Ghost did to Tariq. It was written in his trust fund that he couldn't get the money until he got his college degree. So her son, who graduated elementary school today and is going to middle school, was like, oh, so this is optional? And Wendy was like, is it? But I guess he was like, well, I could probably get money in other ways. I might not need to get that master's degree. And Wendy's mom was like, see, you giving them options. That's not how you raise children. Huh? Like, damn, you can't give them no choices or options at all? That's crazy. It's strict round this bitch. So Ashley's mom came over and Ashley's kids are there too. And she was just telling her mom, like, you need to change your diet and stuff. And her mom was like, I'll get there. And Ashley was like, you know, I'm worried about her. She's battling heart disease. She's 58 years old. And it's just like, girl, when are you going to like turn the corner and start making some lifestyle changes? Like, before it's too late, you already have a diagnosis of something. And if you guys have been watching the show for a while, Ashley has always been on her mom about this guy that she's dating, you know, saying that he's zapping the life out of her. She pays all of the bills. He does nothing. He's draining her. And apparently her mom is still with this guy. So Ashley was like, you know, I just want to check in and see, like, is he helping you financially at all? And her mom was like, he's recently started and things have gotten better between us. And Ashley was like, well, is he helping you enough? And the mom was like, no. Ashley said her mom is almost 60 years old, still working 12-hour days, and has been with this man all these years, and he doesn't really contribute financially. At some point, her mom is going to have to retire, and everything's going to fall on Ashley, taking care of herself, her kids, and her mom. Ashley mom need to leave that man. And it's so sad when you have like even a friend that you know that's in like a bad situation. But you know, all you could do is just be there for them because people gonna leave when they ready. But it's even crazier for it to be like your mom or your child, you know what I mean? So everybody's coming to Jazzy's party and she's talking about Lake Norman was very fun. No, Lake Norman, you got grilled. And everybody saw that your timeline didn't make no goddamn sense and that you're a side chick. Turned fiance. But continue. So Mia bought ink. He is very short. So Giselle was cackling about that. She was like, Karen was right. But he was like, you know, I'm here every weekend until my correction officer say I got to come back. And Giselle was like, yeah, you got to check in. I'm like, oh, okay. And he told Giselle, like, I get along with Gordon. As long as we both put in the kids' happiness first, we'll be cool. So Wendy and Eddie come in. Kay and her man come in. Jazzy was like, yeah, Kay boyfriend is another one who was shorter than I imagined. So now we see Karen coming in 4 days until her court date. And she's with that lady she was with at the beginning of the season. I think her name is Vivian. So Kierna immediately went in to check in Mia and was like, you know, you were very disrespectful at Lake Norman, alleging that my man was a drug dealer. That's very disrespectful to him. And Giselle was like, that's detrimental for him if you're putting that out there. So Kay was basically saying, like, she wanted Mia to go apologize, I think. And Mia was like, well, you already said, was I talking about your ex? I was talking about your other boyfriend. We know he's a social worker, but your ex-boyfriend or your last boyfriend is a drug dealer or was a drug dealer. And Mia was still being shady, like, oh yeah, he's very much a social worker. We can tell, like basically saying, probably saying he don't get money because social workers don't always make a lot. And obviously a drug dealer gets mad money. So it's like, I felt like that was shade too. But she apologized to Kay again and was like, I'm sorry. But she didn't go apologize to the man. And here comes Stacy walking in with TJ. So everybody's questioning them. Wendy's like, they give exactly what I thought they would give. I can tell that man is not sexually active. Ashley was like, what do you guys do? And he was like, well, we went to the zoo yesterday. And Ashley was just looking at him like, what? Ashley says Stacy needs to run. So Jazzy's boyfriend Darius comes in and he bought one of his teammates and friends Prince. So Jazzy was asking Prince, was he single? And he said, yeah. So she was like, well, a few of my friends here are single. So I just wanted to make sure. And Giselle was like, oh, Lord. But Giselle probably wanted that man. And Darius said that his experience going to the White House, him and the winning team was great. They got to hear President Biden speak in person. He had on a helmet. It was a whole thing. Jazzy got up there to make a little speech and she said, shout out to my 3-time Super Bowl champion. Shout out to my man. What's for you is for you and can't nobody take it away. So I guess she was saying, I don't give a fuck about that BM. I don't give a fuck what y'all ladies think. This is my man. He's getting married to me and it is what it is. And that's what I said last week. Like, girl, you was with the shenanigans. I think you knew. But you didn't care because you wanted him and you also wanted that bag. So Mia goes and hugs Karen and then she's like, so Giselle told me you coming after me and you not in no position to be coming after nobody. So Giselle was like, you know what? I need to talk to these two in private. So she takes Mia and Karen to the side. So Giselle told Karen, I did share what you said with Mia, and they showed us a clip where Giselle asked Mia, like, did you have to go to rehab? And Mia was like, I didn't have to go to rehab, but I did have an opioid OD. And Karen was like, I thought we were friends. You've been coming at me like white on rice. And Mia was like, no, I haven't. And I thought we were friends too. So when I hear you saying that I needed rehab, how am I supposed to feel? Well, she's retaliating. You've been being shady to Karen the whole season. And you're saying you thought y'all were friends. You were just showing Stacy all her charges, right? And Mia explained in a confessional that her opioid addiction came from her having a C-section. They gave her medication and she found herself addicted to it. And she said eventually after the OD, she chose to go the holistic route. And she got into chiropractic care because the adjustments remove your pain. Therefore, you won't need the medicine for your pain. And Giselle was like, okay, this is too much. Can we just move past this? And Karen was like, yeah, stop starting with me. And Mia was like, I'm not coming at you. I love you. And I have a lot of respect for you. And Karen was like, your love is strange, girl. And I agree. It's either full of shade or it's just weird, like the situation she got with Jacqueline. Even the way she played Ink and Gordon, like the way you deal with the people that you say you love is very weird, just based off what we could see on TV alone. And Mia was like, well, I'm not a yes man and real friends don't always tell you what you want to hear. And that is true. But like Karen said, a lot of the times it just don't seem like it's coming from a place of genuine love and concern. It seems like it's coming from a place of being messy and shady. And Karen was like, we are both wrong for going low, but I will go low again if you continue to come at me. Period. Karen said, Mia, we know how low you go. You go as low as balls hang. And Mia was like, yeah, I like balls and you know all about low balls. And then Karen said, you've been on so many public balls, it don't matter. Like, what are y'all talking about? So Giselle and Ashley and all of them were like, I guess we made some progress, but not really. Okay, so 3 days until Karen's court date now. We see her meeting up with her cousin David. And her cousin was just saying that he's concerned about her stress levels. And she was like, yeah, I've been through a lot these last couple of years. I haven't worked through my grief with losing both of my parents. Ray's back was up against the wall. We had to deal with financial stuff. Our marriage was going through issues. She's been going through a lot and she's older. So he's concerned about her being so stressed. And now she's obviously had this DUI and has this court case. And her cousin David was actually on the phone with her the night of the DUI and heard the crash. So obviously she called him because she was going through it. She was very emotional. And like she said, all of the stuff she's been going through just came to a head that night. And you could tell that Karen is open to talking about it a little bit more and about her emotions and what led her to being in this position with someone who she knows is coming from a place of genuine love, her family, not these women who are basically frenemies. And it was really sad to see her cousin crying because I'm sure that was very traumatic for him. Imagine being on the phone with one of your family members and you hear the car crash. You don't know if they lived or not until you get an update. So we see Mia and Ink in the house with her kids. And Jeremiah obviously is close to Ink. Like he literally was giving him a hug and then the doorbell rung and Gordon came in. And then Jeremiah ran to Gordon and was like, Daddy. And you could see like the disappointment on Ink's face because he's still holding on to the fact that he believes that that's his son. And Mia kind of looked irritated when Gordon got there. And in her confessional, she was like, co-parenting is the top priority. But when there's no boundaries, things get uncomfortable. And Mia and Ink need to have a conversation with Gordon. So they basically send the kids out of the room, tell them to go watch TV so they can have grown folks talk. So Mia asked Gordon, can we have a conversation about telling the kids? But Gordon was like, I'm not doing it. I already told you I wasn't filming with Ink. And Ink was like, I feel like I missed something. And he was like, it don't got nothing to do with you. It's between me and her. Like I said, I already told her I'm not filming with you. And he said, as far as us being around each other for the kids, I'm cool, I'm cordial. But when the kids are not around, I'm not interested in talking to you, basically, period. And he basically was saying, like, Ink, you pushing to be on the show. And Ink was like, no, I'm not. I'm here to support my lady. And at the end of the day, me and you got along outside of all of this. I don't got no problem with you. And Mia was like, we have to work things out. We have to do what's best for the kids. And Gordon said, I don't have to do one single thing to help promote y'all relationship. And then he said, fuck it. I'm not okay with it. Now, Mia, you definitely set this up. You know Gordon has a diagnosis of bipolar and you're playing with him on camera. He said he told you several times, do not try to have him on camera filming with Ink. And you keep pushing for this conversation on camera because you want him to snap on camera because it's entertainment. But that's actually kind of crazy. But again, this is what I mean by this is how Mia treat the people that she claims she love. And Mia was like, Gordon, we have to co-parent. And Gordon was like, he doesn't have to be a part of the co-parenting. And Mia like, but he is around the kids and you should want to know what type of guy is around your kids. Gordon said, I know what type of guy he is. He's the guy who had an affair with my wife and he's the guy who's trying to separate my family. And Ink was like, that's cap. And Ink was like, I didn't break up your happy home. It was already expired. And Gordon was like, no, even shortly after we got married, you and Mia had an affair and she had an abortion. So Ink said that was his first time hearing that. And then Gordon was like, but you think Jeremiah is your son, right? And Ink was like, yeah, I already done told you that. So Gordon kept pressing, did you have 2 affairs with my wife? Was adultery committed? And Mia was like, at the end of the day, Gordon, you know what you put me through. You didn't have a diagnosis and I didn't know what you were going through and it wasn't normal. So Gordon was like, you know what? I'm done with this conversation. And he walked out. And Mia basically said she been wanted to leave Gordon, but she stayed because of his illness. They didn't know exactly what was going on and she would just stay in the marriage. So she's like, I finally put myself first, basically. But I'm still trying my hardest to give Gordon as much time as he needs and to be there for him as much as possible. And so is Ink. Like, he wasn't hostile at all during that conversation, for real. And Ink was like, he wasn't being mindful that the kids are right there in the room. Like, they don't need to be hearing all that, basically. And Mia basically says she's sheltering her kids from knowing what's really going on with her and Ink because she wants to make sure that when she introduces it as a relationship, that everything is figured out with her, Ink, and Gordon, and they're able to co-parent and be around each other without any issues. She said, the little kids just think you're my best friend. So that's what she meant when she was telling Gordon, we need to talk to the kids about this. And he was like, I'm not talking about nothing on camera. Ink basically told Mia that she needed to have a grown-up conversation with him and set some boundaries. And she was saying how she gets concerned about him mentally and stuff. And he was like, at the end of the day, that's really not your responsibility. It has to be some type of self-accountability, especially now that he has a diagnosis. But Mia was like, he can't influence me anymore. I'm not a 22-year-old girl like I was when he first met me, and I'm done. So I guess we'll see next week if she has that conversation with Gordon. So the episode ends here. So next week, we see Mia say to Giselle, the fathers of my children can get along. And everybody was like, the fathers? I thought you said all of the kids were Gordon's. So now Mia is going along with the fact that she thinks Ink is Jeremiah's father, I guess. We'll see. And Mia was like, Ink said he'll remove himself. So maybe he's talking about, maybe I just need to get out of this so you and Gordon can really figure it out. Giselle was asking, has anybody talked to Karen? And Wendy was like, she could face house arrest. She could face jail time. I don't know. And it looked like they were standing outside the court praying while Karen was walking in, child. So I'll see y'all next week for episode 8 of Real Housewives of Potomac. Bye.